a little bit. Oh, hello, we're live. Hello, we're live. But look, she's asking me, it's like, it still hurts. My rib hurts a little bit. It's getting better.
Is it dark?
No, they can't do anything for a rib at the doctor. They'll say
they
go
don't.
home and
Yeah,
be careful with it. Okay. All right, we are in this tonight. We are finishing the book of Song of Solomon, and you'll see on my little descriptive notes that we left off at the naked dancing. Okay, that was that's where we left off last week.
Dang it.
So
You could have just said the dance of.
I did. Whatever that dance was. No.
well,
A bowl of water?
more water.
Okay, ask your dad to open that, please.
Okay. All right. So the dance of Mahanaim. So we introed it last week, and it's called the dance of the two camps. And it'll either say the dance of Mahanaim or the dance of the two camps, depending on. Do what? Dylan, you are not helping me stay on track. You're doing that on purpose.
Give him the microphone.
Okay. So I should have just waited. I should have just waited
So sorry,
before.
Facebook.
It's okay. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I feel like we just need
Okay.
to stop.
Song of Solomon, chapter
It's okay.
7.
We'll get there.
So the dance of the two camps, Mahanaim was a name that Jacob gave to the place in the book of Genesis in chapter 32 when right before he went over to see his twin brother Esau. So at that place, it was revealed to him the camps of heaven. So he had his camp that was there with his wives and servants and all the people. They were all camped there, and then he saw a vision of the camps of heaven. So that's what it's the word Mahanaim is the dance of the two camps on earth and in heaven. So basically, what we were talking about the fact that the Gentile church is grafted into the tree of the Jews, so it becomes one. So all of the language in the Song of Solomon is with the twin language because there's a lot of things that are twos and twins. It is talking about the two camps of the church and the Jewish people as one. Just as a little quick review, we're not talking about politics at all. We're talking about the true line that follows the Torah, the bloodline. We're not talking about the people today that, in some point in history, and I'm not trying to do a history lesson, but at some point in history, they actually converted to Judaism. They're called the Ashkenazi Jews, and they follow things like the Talmud and the Zohar and those books. We're talking about the Torah, and the followers of the Torah, which they're still around today. Just try to forget the politics for the sake of the Bible study. Just forget the politics. It's just not relevant, okay? But the two become one. And so the Lord has his relationship with his people all the way from the Old Testament. And we've basically followed this like a timeline all the way from the Old Testament and into the time of the cross, the time of Christ. And tonight we're going to follow it all the way through the end of Revelation. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat the way that it's written. So the Shulamite at the end of chapter 6 says, "Why do you look at me as if one is looking on the dance of the two camps?" There actually was a seductive dance that was called the dance of Mahanaim, but I have always heard this taught as, and I believe in a lot of ways kind of abused, to shame wives into feeling like they're not good enough or not doing enough for their husbands. It's like, see, if you were a good wife, you'd be doing this. It's like, it's just not practical. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of reasons, it's just not. But that's the way I've always heard it taught, honestly, so. I don't know.
But two camps, like I wonder about the origin of that.
I don't
Two
know.
camps means
I don't
two
know.
different sets of people. So how is there a dance associated
Called
with-
Mahanaim. That's a good
Like,
question. I don't
It
know.
all comes from something. Actual,
Yeah.
So I'm
It would come from something. I just honestly I didn't research it. I probably should have, but I was on a whole nother train of thought with this. But that's where we left off at the end of chapter 6. So in chapter 7, one of the main reasons why, you know, the teachers and people who comment on this is like, oh, she's obviously doing this seductive dance naked, is because of all the descriptive language that is in chapter 7. However, there's more when you look for the deeper meaning. There's more to it. You know, I'm not saying that any of that is wrong. I'm just saying there's a deeper meaning. Okay, Song of Solomon chapter 7, verse 1. Woo, took me a minute to get here. Okay, verse 1. How beautiful are your feet in sandals, O princess daughter. The curves of your thighs are like jewels, the work of the hands of a skillful workman. Now, in Ephesians chapter 6, we see...
Sorry, Bailey was like... The first one.
I know.
The first one she's been here for.
Now you'll know. Now you'll know. So in Ephesians chapter 6, we see this. Stand, therefore. The strength of a woman is in her thighs, right? Stand, therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Yes. So the sandals of the gospel of peace, you see the same imagery in chapter 6, and it's the imagery that is the strength of her thighs, right? So a woman's strength is in her thighs.
I wonder if Paul meant to write things that,
No.
or was it prophetic? Like, that's how we know it was inspired by the Holy Spirit, because like he
Right.
writes things like this in his letters all the time that tie almost exactly to something in the Old Testament, like in I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
I don't see nothing about thighs in Ephesians 6. Is that
Stand therefore, stand therefore.
Stand.
Standings with strength.
All right.
Your It's with the says that
I thought it was just.
they're having a hard time like what?
I got it.
The gospel of peace. Thank you.
I got
At least somebody got that.
The second half, I got the feet thing.
Calm down.
Nobody in this room is mature enough for this conversation.
I got the feet part. It was.
By the end of Sunday, we're just having a blast.
Right. So, but think of this too. Now I just introed where the word Mahanaim came from. Is from this. Now, right after he names that place Mahanaim, this happens when he wrestles with the angel of the Lord. So Jacob went on his way, and the angel of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's camp," and he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Now, go down to verse 22. And he arose that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 female servants and his 11 sons and crossed over the ford of Jabbok. He took them and sent them over the brook and sent over what he had. Then Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. Now, when he saw that he did not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip. And the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, "Let me go, for the day breaks." But he said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So the angel of the Lord says, "Let me go, for the day breaks." And Jacob says, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So he said to him, "What is your name?" He said, "Jacob." And he said, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed." The name Israel means he wrestles with God. That's what the name means. So we see, oh my goodness, the wrestling all the way through Scripture with God. And he prevails. Then Jacob asked, saying, "Tell me your name, I pray." And then he said, "Why do you ask about my name?" And he blessed him there. So you see the angel of the Lord. This is why we believe it's a pre-incarnate Christ. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Just as he crossed over Peniel, the sun rose on him, and he limped on his hip. Therefore, to this day, the children of Israel do not eat the muscle of that shank, which is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, and that muscle that shrank. So Jacob, for the rest of his life, walked with a limp because of this wrestling match. So we see here that the work of the hands of a skillful workman. So the Lord is speaking of the bride and saying that her hips are the work of a skillful workman. It's so interesting that the bride, in theory, walks with a limp, at least Israel does, but it's the work of a skillful workman. I don't know how good she did the dance with a limp, but okay, anyway, I had to, but.
Well,
Wait a second,
just because he had he created her and took the ability away, I don't know, just his hand.
Yeah.
A part of the creating.
A part of the creating. It's for a purpose.
Right.
Taylor's struggling, but this is for a purpose.
No, I'm struggling how when it says the works of the hands of a skillful workman, how you got to skillful workman, meaning the bride would have this limp intent.
She was talking
The hip that was out of joint, that he touched her. If you think of Jacob as part of the bride, which I know this is a stretch, okay, and he wrestles all night, and he finally touches, he's like, let me go for the day breaks, and it's like he just to end the match, he touches the sock of his.
Yeah, I got that part. I'm
Okay.
not seeing how you're connecting that back to Song of Solomon.
The hips as the work as a skillful workman. So even crafting, he is the potter. The bride is the clay. God is the potter who's creating her. Who even that part, even the fact that Israel has always wrestled with God, even that is part of his plan.
onto the hip.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the mouths of
So
babes.
cute.
What was the name of the dance? The
Ma-
two camps, what's the other?
Mahanaim is the same name.
The two camps, but then Mahanaim means this is God's camp. So that is strange to me.
There's two.
It
camps of
literally,
war.
Mahanaim literally means two camps.
No, he's not
The
saying
word
this is
Mahanaim.
God's camp, meaning what he is seeing is God's camp. Therefore, he called the place Mahanaim.
I thought that
Two
usually when
camps.
they have a name, it usually references exactly what he's saying.
There's his camp. Jacob said there was his camp, and then the camp of heaven. So that was the two camps, the one on earth and the one in heaven.
Heaven means earth, sure. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Following.
Okay. Just try to follow me. I'm hoping that it made sense in my head.
I get it.
She's getting it.
Okay, cool.
Just take it on
do.
faith
Yeah, I'll take
as
that.
you wrestle. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
I'm not, no, legit,
Sorry.
I'm not
Taylor's
trying to
gonna
wrestle.
limp out of here tonight.
She's already limping on one side.
Oh no. Taylor, it's about you.
You know, for everything that Jacob ever did, let me just say, at least he didn't have a million concubines and wives. And I'll give him that. I thought that. As soon as
There
I
you
saw
go.
two wives,
There
I
you
said,
go.
Good for him.
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
eyes and look at it again later.
And he only meant to have the one. He got tricked into Leah.
Why are you making it worse? She's
Anyway.
she's saying, well, he wasn't rich, so.
I said that's the only reason why these folks got 10,000 concubines. They got money.
It's really true.
I'm sure if he had a little coin.
Verse 2. Verse 2. Your navel is a rounded goblet. It lacks no blended beverage. Your waist is a heap of wheat set about with lilies. Now think about the bread and wine. The blended beverage is wine, and the heap of wheat is bread. So it's bread. It's the communion, the communion with Him. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. Not shots from a belly.
No.
Oh.
They could have used this rounded goblet to say my stomach is round, so don't worry about my figure. If they're gonna use the
A sheep of wheat is literally like
Yeah.
the
So,
figure.
I'm never gonna look like like a barrel of wheat.
Who
A
is?
bear. I'm sorry.
We were made for that.
Oh my
This is
word.
beautiful. It really is.
It's beautiful. Okay. Verse 3. I know. Well, it's hard. It's hard to get through naked dancing without a little giggle.
Shut up.
I know.
We're just having fun. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Your two breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle. So that's where, again, we've gone through this before, but the two on one body, okay? So the two are the two camps,
Yes.
the church and the Jews on one bride.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I know it's giggle worthy. The young ones are having a hard time. Now you know. Now you know. Excuse me.
She said, ew, gross.
I spared you some of the pictures I came across of this. But anyway.
I didn't know you were trying to illustrate.
I mean, not like that. It would be too much giggling. Anyway.
There you go, Mariah. That's your next commission.
No, I'm good.
Okay, verse 4. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Okay, before we go on, if you think of this, now she is the New Jerusalem. Remember that the bride is New Jerusalem. So when you see her described as having walls and towers, this is why she's described as having walls and towers. This is the New Jerusalem as the bride. Okay?
So it represents Jerusalem.
The new Jerusalem that comes down out of heaven in Revelation. We'll go there in a minute. Which is the bride. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Your eyes like the pools in Heshbon by the gate of Bath Rabbim. Now Heshbon means intelligent, and Bath Rabbim means daughter of many. Daughter of many. The daughter that came from many nations into one. But her eyes are intelligent. I mean, they're pools of water, which of course that's poetic language and beauty and all that stuff, but also intelligent. Oh, there's a comment. Look, I said that in the comment. Her eyes are intelligent, and she is the daughter of many, born from many nations. In this last chapter, she is referred to, in the last chapter, she's referred to as the only daughter and the favorite of her mother. Her mother
Okay.
is the Gentile nations. Okay, he's really cute.
No, I don't want to see.
Today is just
We can't get through. It's just okay. All right. We'll try to go forward. We'll try. Your nose, I'm going to keep going on. Your nose is like the Tower of Lebanon, which looks towards Damascus. So here we have the tower again, the Tower of Lebanon, which Lebanon was the place of, it was on heights with cedar trees, so it was like a grandeur. There's a grandeur to Lebanon with the heights and the cedar trees and all that. But listen, which looks toward Damascus. In Acts chapter 9, then Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked letters from him to the synagogues of Damascus, so that if he found any who were of the way means the Christians, whether men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus. And suddenly a light shone around him from heaven, and he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And he said, Who are you, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, who you are persecuting. It's hard for you to kick against the goads. So he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what do you want me to do? And the Lord said to him, Arise and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. So on the way, looking toward Damascus, so Saul becomes Paul, in case for anyone who doesn't know. So Saul, on the road toward Damascus, has this experience and revelation with Christ, and he ends up becoming one of the most important apostles in the New Testament. He wrote majority of the New Testament was from Saul, who becomes Paul on this road. And he also was, he referred to himself as a Jew among Jews. Like he was he was a Benjamite. He was schooled under Gamaliel, I think was the name. I mean, he was like one of the top Pharisaical Jews, a Jew among Jews. But yet he becomes of the way of Christ. And so Paul becomes, so you have the bride who's grafted in the tree, and then you have Paul being the beginning who actually becomes Christian and leads many other people to Christ away. So that's where you see the two becoming one during this whole scene. And it happens on the road to Damascus. Does that make sense to Alusia? Is everybody good? What are we on? Verse 5. Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel. Okay, now Mount Carmel as a place was a very lush, beautiful place full of vineyards, and it was a lot of beauty. But Carmel translates as vineyard or lush garden. So your head crowns you like Mount Carmel, and the hair of your head is like purple. The king is held captive by your tresses. Well, purple was
I was like, I thought of baby.
Like
royalty, okay? Yeah, purple was, because only the rich, only royalty could afford purple at the time. The king is held captive by your tresses. How fair and pleasant you are, O love, with your delights. This statue of yours is like a palm tree, and your breasts like its clusters. Okay, I know we're going through all this. I know, and we're all like, what? Okay. The coconut clusters. Yeah, okay. So, but think about this as far as palm trees. I don't know if you guys remember, but the walls of the temple were decorated with palm trees. The walls of Solomon's temple, and also in Ezekiel, the temple that's described in Ezekiel is the temple that is coming in the New Jerusalem. Okay, so this is some people call it the Millennial Temple, but it is one that happens in the spirit later on in the future, the ones that's described in Ezekiel, okay?
I think it's interesting that they use the palm branches to usher in.
Well, we're about to talk about
okay,
that.
okay.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah. Don't you love I love that you guys are on my wavelength. That I'm not just like, hopefully it's making sense. Okay, now in 1 Kings 6:29, on the walls around the temple, in both the inner and outer rooms, he carved cherubim, palm trees, and open flowers. So you see right there, that was from Solomon's temple. Then Ezekiel 41, describing the temple in the future millennial temple, which I know if you're not like a long-time student of Bible prophecy, you may not have seen this before, but this one is described in Ezekiel. In the space, and that has never been built, by the way. This is the one that Ezekiel sees in his vision. In the space above the outside of the entrance to the inner sanctuary, and on the walls at regular intervals all around the inner and outer sanctuary were carved cherubim and palm trees. Palm trees alternated with cherubim. Each cherub had two faces. The face of a human being toward one palm tree on one side, and the face of a lion toward the palm tree on the other. Now, if you think of a cherubim with two faces, one that's a man and one that's a lion, what do you think that is? Jesus, who is the man. He comes as the Son of Man. Then the second time he comes as the Lion of Judah. And he's facing the palm trees in this depiction on the temple in Ezekiel. They were carved all around the whole temple, from the floor to the area above the entrance. Cherubim and palm trees were carved on the wall of the main hall.
Cool too, can I just say?
Yes.
Both times, like the first time
you have
that
the
he
mic?
came in. Oh, the first
Yeah.
time when his first triumphal entry, he was the man, and his second, it will be the lion. Like,
Yes.
I mean,
The
did
two,
y'all already,
yes.
like, say
Yes.
that? Okay.
No. I'm
With
glad
the
you.
palm trees. Like
Yes,
the palm
I feel like you can't say these
So
things
cool.
enough. I mean, because it's through repetition and I know that this is new information for a lot of people, and it's through repetition that you begin to learn it and remember it.
Awesome.
Yes. So this is verse 8. I said, I will go up to the palm tree. I will take hold of its branches. Let now your breasts be like the clusters of the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples. So the branches of the palm tree was what was used in the triumphal entry. The people took the branches to usher in him as the Messiah. It's beautiful imagery. I'll just show this really quick. That's what I put on there. Okay, so here's the comment. The image of the palm tree is straight and tall, signifying righteousness and fruitfulness. Palm trees would cluster around water sources in the wilderness, marking oasis locations. So this is the picture of the bride as well. The bride is the stature of the palm tree, straight and tall, righteous, fruitfulness, and oasis.
That's okay. Now I'm following because I forgot. But the breasts are both camps.
Yes.
So he's saying that he wants them both to be fruitful.
Yes.
All right.
And it's an oasis.
I see.
Yes.
And that he wants them to be clusters of the vine.
Yes.
Yes.
You want,
I was like, hold on.
why is it? There
Why is
you
it
go.
becoming so?
I didn't catch that.
Thank you.
Catherine said
Catherine, say it. You got
he
to say
keeps,
it.
referring to both camps being the breasts,
Right.
and now he's saying your breasts are like the cluster of the vine, wanting both camps to be fruitful.
Yes.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Now it's making. I was like, wait a second. We're starting to get. I'm not sure.
Yes. I'm so glad it's starting to sink in
There it
because
is.
otherwise I'm just out here making everybody giggle and I'm
no.
just sinking. I'm sinking.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're giggling.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's hitting
We're
home.
giggling, but we get it.
Okay, good.
My heart feels the love.
Okay, good. Yes.
Oh, it does.
It is sweet. And the roof of your mouth like the best wine. The wine is the covenant, of course. Isn't that sweet? And the Shulamite says, now think about this, is so cool. The wine goes down smoothly for my beloved, moving gently the lips of sleepers. Now, who are the sleepers?
Unbelievers?
No.
Maybe that has to do with
The sleepers are just those who will be resurrected. The dead are the dead. The ones who are just asleep are the ones who will be resurrected. I'm sorry. No, you know.
Wait, what?
Wait, I missed
Semantics.
Because y'all are over there talking, not listening.
No,
That's
it's
what-
good.
Oh,
She was making another.
No, say it again. Say it again.
I was
What'd you
making
say?
another reference, but it was like I'm not going to pause class every time.
You can.
Because Madison was talking about it at the end of Luke 22. She was talking about how Judas's kiss with Jesus was deeper, and you related it to, I think it was Psalms, was it?
Yeah, it was where kiss his son or he'll be angry. The kiss was meant to unite yourself, to align yourself with him. To like the Hebrew root word for kiss was like to make your allegiance to him, to arm yourself for war, to proclaim this was your friend, that you were committed, and
Right.
so like it was blasphemous to betray the kiss because it was what's the word?
Hypocrisy or
No, not more than hypocrisy. It was when you betray a king.
I can't even think about it.
Man, my word.
treason.
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 Sorry, treason. It
Yeah.
was- yeah. But she was.
Wow.
Like the roof of the mouth,
Like
like when you kiss somebody or whatever.
putting
Right,
your lips
right.
to the cup is
The
like
covenant.
Yes,
to the
covenant.
covenant.
That's what I was referencing for that long-winded.
Sorry.
No, that was
Sorry.
really good. I don't think that we can speak enough about all the
There's so-
references.
yeah.
There's so many.
So many.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see, where
But
was
I
it?
missed
Where did I
your
leave
thing
off?
about semantics.
Well, I don't know.
She-
I don't know that
she
I
was
said
like, "Who are the
semantics.
sleepers?"
Oh, let me just say this again. This is the Shulamite. This is the Shulamite. The wine goes down smoothly for my beloved, moving gently the lips of sleepers. I love it. Imagine the dead who are scheduled to be resurrected, and the wine goes down, the covenant goes down, like the blood of the cross goes down, and as he's making the contract of that covenant, those who will be resurrected, it's like their lips begin to move. It's like an awakening.
Or even those who already are, those who were dead in transgressions already are made alive with Christ.
Yes.
Now. So like
yes.
people who are walking dead become alive.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
references
Yes.
sleepers in First Thessalonians.
Right. So it can be both.
Children of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know how much we've talked about this?
Clearly, there's so much that you can just be like, yeah, in First Thessalonians.
So much about how you are children of the day. But even if you are asleep, you will be saved. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because that reference
Yeah.
can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we've talked about.
So look at this verse, 1 Corinthians 15. Is that what you just said?
That's kind
No,
of
she was
we're-
talking about Thessalonians. I was like, why are you pulling Thessalonians?
Oh, you were saying Thessalonians. I'm
Because you're
sorry.
about sleepers. Sorry.
1 Corinthians 15:20. But now Christ is risen from the dead and has become the firstfruits of those who have fallen asleep. For since by man came death, by man also came the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Christ all shall be made alive. But each one in his own order. Christ the firstfruits, afterward those who are Christ at his coming. So speaking of the resurrection. Okay, verse 10. I am my beloved's, and his desire is toward me. Come, my beloved, and let us go forth to the field. Let us lodge in the villages. So the field in the parables is the world. If you remember the parables of Jesus. So the field is the world. So let us go forth in the field. Let us lodge in the villages. So we live in the world for this season, but not of the world. We're still separated. Let us get up early to the vineyards, and let us see if the vine has budded, whether the grape blossoms are open, and the pomegranates are in bloom, and there I will give you my love. The mandrakes give off a fragrance, and the mandrakes were an aphrodisiac of the ancient kingdom. They were known as an aphrodisiac. I don't know why I can't say that. Mandrakes give off a fragrance, and at our gates are pleasant fruits, all manner new and old. All manner new and old. There is a new covenant and the old covenant, all manner new and old, which I have laid up for you, my beloved. So the bride has, at this point, she has all the fruits, new and old, laid up for the bridegroom. Chapter 8. Okay, fast forwarding just a little bit. Oh, that you were like my brother who nursed at my mother's breast. If I should find you outside, I would kiss you. I would not be despised. I would lead you and bring you into the house of my mother, she who used to instruct me. I would cause you to drink of spiced wine, of the juice of my pomegranate. All right, here's the comment. There is a time, and it's beginning now, when believers in Jesus will be despised in Jerusalem. The mother who used to instruct her did so as Jerusalem passed. Jerusalem past was the mother who used to instruct the bride. Now, fast forward in the timeline, now she cannot proclaim Christ in the streets without being despised in the streets. To the daughters of Jerusalem, his left hand is under my head and his right hand embraces me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases. Again, that phrase, speaks of not rushing God's timing. He's working something out in his timing. Verse 5. Verse 5. Who is this? This is another speaking. It just says a relative. That's not originally. It's just someone else speaking. Who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved? Who is this coming up from the wilderness? Now, do you remember the first time that we saw this phrase in Song of Solomon? Who is this leaning on the coming up from the wilderness?
Was it the
leaning?
John the Baptist part?
No, it
It's
was.
like the Jewish people with the shulam. It's referencing the Jewish people talking to the church, right?
Leaving Israel when their time in the wilderness.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, leaving Egypt. When they're coming out of Egypt and their time in the wilderness. Early on in this book, the bride that was coming out and leaning on her beloved was as the newborn church, or the newborn bride, the newborn people of God. Now, who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved? Matthew 24:15 says this. I hope that this is making sense, y'all. I'm not toggling too much. Okay. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand. Let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. In Matthew 24, Jesus is talking about the time of tribulation. So when the disciples had asked him about the end times and when these things are going to take place, and during Jesus's answer to them, he says there's going to be an event called the Abomination of Desolation. That's a whole other study. But it happens in the midpoint of the 7-year tribulation that we call the tribulation period in Revelation. The middle of that time period, Jesus says to them, when you see this happen, leave and go into the wilderness, leave Judea and go into the wilderness. So there will be a time when true believers, even true believers of the Torah at the time, will be persecuted by the Antichrist, and they will have to flee into the mountains, into the wilderness. Now, we have talked before when we talk about that time period that probably because of the place, the direction that they're directed to go from the book of Daniel. So in the book of Daniel, which is part of their holy scripture of the Jewish scriptures, it says, go this direction. There's only one place to go, and that's the ancient city of Petra. So we have surmised that they'll probably go that direction because it's actually an already carved out city that has water, fresh water, caves that would be temperate that could house a group of people. So probably they'll go there. And when you study Bible prophecy, you find out that that area that's in Jordan is, for whatever reason, the only area that the Antichrist doesn't have control over. We don't know at this point why it's just there, the entire globe, except for that little piece of land. But that's what the scripture says. So the Lord plans to protect his people, who I believe will be the believing Jews, or the soon-to-be believing Jews, when they go into that place. Much like, I believe it's going to return much like it was in the wilderness of the manna from heaven and the parting of the Red Sea and the manna from heaven and those types of miracles to care for his people once again. And I believe that at that time, the church will be long gone from the rapture. That's my interpretation of it. It's okay if you disagree, okay? But at some point, those people will have to flee. The people that are in Judea, meaning in Israel, they will be persecuted to the point that they will have to run. And it says, don't even go back for your cloak. Anyone, if you're in the field, don't even go back to the house. Run. It's going to happen that quickly. All right, so we see this picture, the Jews hiding in the wilderness during the second half of the tribulation. Now, this is the best picture I could find. So this is a black and white picture on this copy, but it's the city of Petra. and there's the beast from Revelation that is obviously in Revelation that is symbolic of the global governance, the global government that happens during the last half of trib. Not a literal dragon, but a symbolic one. Okay. Are y'all following, or did I? I know it's a lot of different subjects and a lot of different books that are come together in one. But I'm hoping that it's a big puzzle. The Bible is a big puzzle, and you get pieces from all over the place. I awakened you under the apple tree. There your mother brought you forth, and there she who bore you brought you forth. Now look at this, the Jordan River crossing. Now Petra is on the other side of the Jordan River. Now remember that the nation of Israel, when they came into the promised land, they crossed over the Jordan River after they left Egypt. They wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. When they finally crossed over, they crossed over the Jordan River. And guess where Jesus is baptized later on? Because remember, they made the little monument, the monument for the stone monument. Jesus is baptized in the Jordan River, we believe, in the same location. Can't be really proven, but we believe in the same location. Makes sense because of the Ark of the Covenant. Where the Ark of the Covenant stood still is where they made the stone monument. And then Jesus, the Son of Man, who is here to create the new covenant, is baptized right there at that location. So you see, if you look at all this on a map, it starts to make sense how it converges into one place. All these things begin to converge. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the mother, and I can't help but, I'm going to throw this out there. Your mother who brought you forth, when they came across the Jordan River, that was another parting of water, of where the priest carried the Ark of the Covenant, and as soon as they stepped into the river, the water parted, just like it did for the Red Sea. And the
Are
visual.
you relating the baptism to being born again in this birth here, where your mother brought you forth? I was trying to figure out
I wasn't going to, but I think it ties in to
Okay,
being
I was
born
trying to
again or
figure
in
it out.
baptismal. But your mother who brought you forth, it looks to me like the breaking of water, like a birthing, a breaking of
Okay.
water. I think it all ties in.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I was just trying to follow.
The Shulamite to her beloved, set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is as strong as death, and jealousy as cruel as the grave. Its flames are flames of fire, a most vehement flame. That literally translate the flame of Yahweh. So this is the same fire that is shown up in the burning bush for Moses, the flame of Yahweh. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can floods drown it. If a man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised. Now, what did Jesus do when he came? He left. He gave the wealth of all his house for love. He did that. And it was utterly despised. Now, the Shulamite's brothers say this. Now, this is a mystery, but I'll tell you what I think, okay? We have a little sister, okay? So you have this bride, this fully formed at this point bride, who's the two become one. Now the brothers say, we have a little sister and she has no breast. What shall we do for our sister in the days she is spoken for? If she is a wall, again with the wall and all the, if she is a wall, we will build upon her a battlement of silver. And if she is a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar. Now, okay, before we go on, this is my thought. And if you guys might have a thought that I don't have. there will be, when Jesus comes back, he will establish a 1,000-year reign on earth. And there will be mortal people who reestablish human life, human civilization for 1,000 years with him as the king who rules in righteousness. A kingdom that will be ruled by Jesus himself. I believe that there's a little sister who is in view in that 1,000-year reign of, that's what I believe that this is referring to. Still in the future. It'll be beautiful.
I have seriously thought about that. Like, what would that? I've thought about that a lot. Like, what will that look like? But I try not to dwell on it too much because I don't know. I get all worked up about like salvation for, like, or will they be born like in the garden again? Because you know how Satan's like let loose again, and I'm like, it gets me all worked up in my mind. So I'm like, the Lord is good, so I'm not gonna worry, because I'll be with him, and he'll instruct us on how to guide and be. We're supposed to serve as priests and kings.
Yes.
As servants of the Lord, then, so there
Right.
will be something,
Right.
some sort of instruction from God at that time that we just don't have.
Right. During that 1,000-year period of time, those who have been resurrected and transformed into our new bodies will be given jobs as priests and kings and co-rulers, co-heirs and co-rulers, which is crazy to think about. But we will have a job as priests and kings to minister to the mortal people who will be reestablishing civilization after this battle that happens in Revelation. So that will be our job, is to be priest to this new inhabitant. Yes.
No, because that's going to send me down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
There is no answer.
Okay. So the Shulamite says, the bride, I am a wall, and my breasts are towers. Now this is the breast tower, the tower breast that we talked about. But well, I know. But she is the city of the New Jerusalem. So the walls and towers. This is the army, the new city. Then I became in his eyes as one who found peace. So he finds peace in her, and then she finds peace in him, and then there is peace. And so this is it would probably be better in color. But this is the picture of basically an artist's rendition of the New Jerusalem. The New Jerusalem as the bride, the city who comes down from heaven in the book of Revelation, in case I've lost you. This is in the book of Revelation, the New Jerusalem, which is the bride of Christ.
I feel so. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go
Okay.
I'm sorry.
This is described in Revelation chapter 21. Revelation chapter 21, verse 2 says, Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them, and will be their God. And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, no more sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away. Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And I just can't help but think about, in the Passion of the Christ, Jesus telling his mother, Look, Mom, I make all things new. I'm like, Verse 9, we're still in Revelation. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls filled with the 7 last plagues came to me and talked with me, saying, "Come, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife." And he carried me away in the Spirit to the great and high mountain and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. Her light was the most precious stone, like jasper stone, clear as crystal. And also she had a great and high wall with 12 gates and 12 angels at the gates. The name and names written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So you got the 12 tribes of the children of Israel represented here in this city. And 3 gates on the west. Now the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. So the foundation was the 12 apostles of the Lamb. So you have both represented in the city. Which one is the 12th? Is that your question? Because Judas is obviously not in there.
I mean, don't even get started on that.
Okay.
The one they replaced him.
They replaced him. Either him or Paul. It had to be one or the other.
It's not Paul.
It has to fight.
It's not
words.
Paul.
It can be Paul.
No, it's not.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. It's
Your
not
question.
No, I was just because it's the foundation of the apostles of Christ.
Yes, it's the foundation.
Paul.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yes.
It's not Paul.
So this is why the language of the bride goes back and forth with walls and towers and all this. Okay. Verse 11. Now we're back to Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 11. Are y'all still with me? I know I'm going back and forth. Okay. Solomon had a vineyard at Baal Hamon. Now this is the comment. That was a very profitable vineyard, the vineyard at Baal Hamon. Now you remember that there's the vineyards that were. Let me just finish this. Solomon had a vineyard at Baal Hamon. He leased the vineyard to keepers. Everyone was to bring for its fruit 1,000 silver coins. Yes.
This is still Song of Solomon?
This is
Wait,
Song
So
of
this
Solomon.
switches.
So it goes from the Shulamite being I am a wall
Yes.
to talking about Solomon's vineyard.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm happy. I thought I missed something too. I was like, wait a minute.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
That's a very abrupt transition.
I'm sorry. It is an abrupt transition, but it is Song of Solomon still.
Okay. Everyone.
Okay. So but you remember the parable of the vineyard. You remember in the that Jesus told the parable of the vineyards. And Israel, many times throughout Scripture, is likened to a vineyard. And the vineyard is leased to keepers, and the keepers were the teachers of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he leased them out, and when he sent his prophets there, they beat them, and then when he sent
Right.
his son, they killed them.
Yeah. And so when the prophets were sent to the vineyard, the keepers of the vineyard beat and killed the prophets. And then finally the son was sent and they killed the son, saying, if we kill the heir, this is the heir, and then we'll inherit the vineyards. But now this is in a different language. The language is different here. The language says everyone was to bring for its fruit 1,000 silver coins to Solomon. My own vineyard is before me. Remember at the beginning of this book, she says, my own vineyard have I not kept.
Wait, so sorry.
That's okay.
So Solomon is writing this,
Yes. But it's a poem.
but he's writing it from the perspective of the Shulamite. He's writing it from the perspective of the beloved.
Yeah.
He is now saying, so he's talking about himself almost in third person here.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's the Shulamite talking to Solomon.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Can you start over at 12? Right.
My own vineyard is before me. And remember at the beginning of this book, she had not kept her own vineyard because she was a slave. She had been forced to keep other other vineyards, and she'd been forced into slave labor. And she spoke of herself being blackened from the sun because she was a slave in Egypt. And my own vineyard I've not kept. But now she says, my own vineyard is before me. You, O Solomon, may have 1,000, and those who tend its fruit to 200. So now it's a fruitful vineyard. At this point in history, now it is a fruitful vineyard. You who dwell in the gardens, the companions listen for your voice. Let me hear it. The Shulamite says, so that was the bridegroom that said, you who dwell in the gardens, the companions listen for your voice. Let me hear it. So now the Shulamite answers and says, the bride, make haste, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountains of spices. That is the last verse of this book. Revelation 22 says, and the Spirit and the bride say, come. And let him who hears say, come. And let him who thirsts come. Whoever desires, let him take of the water of life freely. He who testifies of these things say, surely I am coming quickly. Amen. Even so, come Lord Jesus. And that's the last verse of Revelation. Is that beautiful?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that beautiful? The last verse of Revelation.
This is the coolest one.
I'm
It's
so
the
glad.
coolest one. Are you so? I'm hurting. You gotta give energy. I don't want to punch you.
I don't want to punch you either.
Then say, oh my God.
So the song concludes at the end of the bride and the groom who are so in love with each other.
So
At the end of Revelation, it starts in Genesis and literally ends at Revelation.
so cool, dude.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my goodness. Please continue to, dude. Please look.
Wow.
I told her to write a book.
Help these guys out.
Perhaps.
This is-
We'll see.
I've never.
It has to be a series.
Oh,
Series of books.
just
Maybe.
write it, just-
Maybe.
What God
oh.
really said.
It's
Yeah, what God meant.
it's not
What God really said about.
it's
Songs
not
of
about
Solomon.
it's not about trying to put oppression on wives, because that's what I've kind of heard it taught
That's why I
like.
was like, what is this?
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Right. It is a love poem. It's a love
I
story.
said, this
You guys
doesn't
have so
match.
much fun with the book title.
You guys
Really
so much.
good.
Please do this. Like, I'll be upset if somebody takes these videos
No,
and
you just
writes
call
their
it
own
and say,
stupid
"Is
book.
this?"
It's okay.
Man, you've got to write it.
It's
okay. 'Cause
okay.
It's already a
It's
crown,
okay.
so you
This
don't
is
have to
it.
worry.
This is it.
I'm not worried.
Ask your dad.
You're not.
The word is for everyone. So thank you. I'm glad that maybe I don't know. I have no idea in what hour of what day I would do such a project, but maybe we'll
At
see.
night.
We'll see.
This is how you'll
Just
retire.
start at verse.
Maybe.
This is how you'll retire.
Oh man,
This is it.
thank you.
This is
Now I'm motivated. I'm like, wait a
You're like,
minute.
wait a second.
I'm telling you.
No.
I'm telling you.
I mean, you already got
We'll
the draft
see.
and the
Take this.
outline.
You have a whole
If-
draft.
Take this
So
with you anywhere and set it before scholars and be like, and prove me wrong.
For real, I'm telling you, this is.
well,
this
it's
is
not about that.
revolutionary.
It's
not
not about
about
that.
that.
And then
I've
they'll
never
have to be like,
heard
let's publish it.
I've never heard this interpreted correctly until now. Never, not once.
You guys
If
could co-write it.
I told her I would help.
you know what occurred to me as a possibility, but I don't know. But the fact that the Lord gave this to me, and with my past and my testimony, and I feel like, and I'm definitely no scholar, and I'm definitely no pure bride,
Oh.
but in the spirit. But you know what I'm saying? The fact, I just think it's how He chooses the least of these and the lowest. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The least and the
Rahab, you already brought
lowest.
her up.
Rahab. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Rahab.
Slowly and gently
This is the
in the
coolest thing
spirit.
ever.
That's how Jesus came. And that's
Yeah.
who he wants to use.
The whole
People that have
Bible,
stuff aren't typically lowly or
Yeah.
the whole Bible is full of everyone who more or less sucked and God used them anyways.
Yeah, but
Every
you don't
single
suck.
one.
And God just
Okay.
So maybe we'll see.
Well, it is not
We'll
for
see.
life.
I would love to, but I truly don't know how I would do it, like in what time. But we'll see. I'll think about it. I'll pray about it.
One night at
And we'll
a
see.
time, just a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
I've already done it.
And then just whenever you got something mapped out, get someone to edit
I mean,
it.
I also almost
Yeah.
wonder if
To be
you
a
couldn't take just like the transcripts of your videos, get that transcribed, and then just edit that.
That would be a mess, because I don't know. I don't feel like I speak as well
with
as
the
I.
bleep in the middle.
All right. Well, we'll continue this on after this. I have no idea what we're doing next, y'all. I haven't decided yet, but it'll be fun to find out. I noticed that I've had no votes so
I just
far.
said Chronicles.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do have one vote.
That vote doesn't count. That's an ongoing vote.
All right. I'm glad everyone hung in for this. I hope it was really fun to be here in person. I hope that at least half the energy that's in this room translates into the online.
I'm sure it does.
All right. Till next week, we'll figure it out. Love, love, love. I could either cuss or I could have the pregnant girl do it. I got it. Okay. I was like,
I was like, you were on there for a while.
okay.